Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the chaos that is the 40 Runs podcast that nearly didn't happen tonight because
What's that?
Honestly, it's like in this household tonight, it's total and utter carnage. So we're better off not talking about it and moving on and pretending that nothing's happening behind me. Best thing to do. And honestly, I'd lost something. Yeah. By the way, good evening, everyone. But I'd lost something, and I mean it was really important. Like really, 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 really important. And it's down the back of the drawers.
Oh.
And so can you imagine the sort of temperature went from ice cool to nuclear?
Oh.
So I was dealing with that. Anyway, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this world famous podcast. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, you'll bump into somebody who listens to this podcast. I'm joined tonight by the amazing Ian Wilkinson and slightly dishevelled Ben Slater down. What? You do look dishevelled.
Do I?
Yeah.
He does, doesn't he?
He could just run a comb through your hair, mate.
Yeah, it's because I came back from a dog walk, chase Strava.
Well.
He's back on Strava. He's back on. So tonight we're actually answering your questions. We're doing a bit of one of those tonight because by the way, my computer did that's another reason I was late. The computer did a hard reset, so anything could happen. I don't know.
We're answering the readers' questions. You're not going to say, Wilco, have you got those questions? Because
no. I am one step ahead of you there. I actually got the questions beforehand. I actually planned this out because next week we was going to do this next week, but next week we've got two of our satellite leaders on. Cool. We're going to be talking about like satellite clubs and running clubs and all that. What that means, what that entails, but also the differences making to people on a local level. I think that's quite interesting. Here's some of the stories. So we're talking about that next week. So this week we're doing that. We've also got coming up a London Marathon special, which has got like Hayden and I. It's like our marathon talk, but there's actually on the back of that there are some like a tips thing that I've done, like 20 of the ultimate London Marathon. Honestly, if you're running the London Marathon, you need to listen to that podcast. It's really good. It's going to be. So that's coming out. So tonight we're going to go through some of your questions. Some of them are a bit marathon-y, some of them not. So we'll figure that out. And we'll get as many of them done as we can. I thought we'd just back through them tonight. Before we crack on, I do want to give a shout out to Cooper. Again, like admin said last week, you get a free trial and 20% off. So go over to 40runs.com/Cooper. We've got to give a shout out to our guys at Kendall. Thanks to everybody for all the positive responses to the fueling one episode that we did last week. If you're worrying about how many gels you should take and all that sort of stuff, then listen to that episode. I would say don't listen to the first 15 minutes because it's mainly Ben insulting everyone, and then switch over to the sort of useful part of it. Okay, that's what I would suggest. Obviously go over to startfitness.co.uk. I would do that. And if you're looking to become a member, there's quite a few, because of England Athletics have put all the prices up and stuff. I think there's a lot of clubs that are stepping back from being affiliated. We're not. We're still going to be the cheapest way to get affiliation if you want to with as an England Athletics runner, but via our club if you want to be an affiliated runner. There's a hell of a lot of benefits to belong to 40 Runs, like that you get for free. Okay, but we do offer the affiliation as well, and we are the cheapest in the country. And there's some running clubs out there who are saying actually, we're not going to be doing that anymore because it's too expensive for us and there's certain standards we have to hit and all this sort of stuff. It's quite interesting, actually. I was going through some of this. So, for example, our club's like a 7-star standard club, which is like...
Is that like the 7-star hotels in Dubai?
Yeah, it's basically, think about it like a star rating for hotels. The top level is 7 and we're that.
Cool.
Which is unbelievable. So big shout out to the committee, basically, because they managed to do all that. But yeah, so but to get that, it's quite a lot of pressure, quite a lot of admin. So a lot of clubs are deciding that they're not going to be doing it. So if you are, your club's not carrying on with England Athletics or whatever, come and join us. Still run with your other club, but we offer the affiliation anyway, okay? And you can come along to the satellite groups and whatever, really, we don't care. But anyway, it's just I wanted to mention it because it's quite interesting. I've been hearing a lot of that this week from various places, so it's quite interesting. Ben?
And do we know how much the affiliate? Do we know how much it's going to be this year?
It's going to be 20 odd quid, something like that. It's not. England Athletics are a lot more money than us, and you get less benefits. So I would just say join 40 Runs. It's the cheapest option if that's what you want to do. But yeah, still run with your local club or whatever. If that's what you want to do. We're just saying there's another reason to be part of 40 Runs if you want to. Again, I'll move on because I don't like selling like the club or anything. It sells itself. Do you know what I mean? But yes, right. So, but we do have Marissa here. She's just joined us.
Oh,
never.
Happy days.
Yeah. So let Marissa. This is my fault more than sorry, mate. She's put her number up there, which is good. So if you want to get in touch with Marissa,
you cheeky sod.
you put 07. What is it? So yeah, put it up. Right. Sorry about that. That was my fault.
It's not my number.
Did you hear the conversation? The reason why we're late is because I'd lost something.
You lost a lot of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and it was
really, my dinner. It
was like really, really important stuff. So that's why we're late. But we're talking. We're actually doing questions tonight, Marissa. So we can get involved with something. I think we just crack on with that, unless you guys want to.
Chris, there is one thing
go on, mate.
I wanted to bring up. There is I know that lots of people. It's marathon season. Lots of people are doing fundraising and things like that.
Yeah.
But a big story came out of Wakefield Saturday this week.
Good point.
You might have seen on the Facebook group, the people of Wakefield. They're the satellite group that gets about 400 people turn out.
Just on one night, and they
Like I don't know who's in Yorkshire who's not at Wakefield doing the anyway. I do appreciate that lots of people have got fundraising to do at this time, but we wanted to give a special mention to two of the members at 40 Wakefield, Matt Goff and Richard Green, who are doing the Rob Burrow Leeds Marathon, which I did last year myself. But they're doing it a bit differently because, unfortunately, Matt's father, Andrew, has been diagnosed with motor neurone disease. And there's a massive link with the event for MND because of the former rugby league player, Rob Burrow, who inspired the organisation and his teammates, Kevin Sinfield, and all that. So what they are doing is they've got a specially adapted wheelchair and they are going to push Andrew around the course, which is going to be no mean feat because I've run them hills and it is tough. Now they are trying to raise £7,777.
What the hell was that?
What was that? Anyway, well, I'll say it again: £7,777.
It's like we added a sound effect to it.
We did.
Yeah, it was. That's what I thought it was. Anyway, which is linked because that's Rob Burrow's former number when he used to play for the Leeds Rhinos. And I've had a look on there. They've got a Just Giving page, and they've got about £6,000 to go.
Wow!
So they've made a good start. And they're going to have collection buckets at Wakefield Fawns Park Takeover, which is taking over the park run on the day before, which is May the 10th. And then obviously they're going to be running the race on May the 11th. So we want to give them a big plug. They've got a Just Giving page. Link is Clan Goff Push for Rob. Brilliant. So if you look that up, you'll find out on Just Giving. Please give generously. It's a terrific cause. They're going for a hell of an effort. And I just wanted to wish, I hope I speak on behalf of everybody, to wish Matt, Richard, and Andrew all the very best for the day as well.
Good shout, big shout out as well. Guys, apparently we've had some audio issues. Hopefully that's been resolved for people. That's probably because I jumped on this stream maybe 10 seconds. Hit live.
10's pushing it.
Hit live. You have to, if you're listening to this, and you might have already switched off because the audio's crap, but we do these live. We're pretty unique in that respect, which is it's got its upside because we get you guys involved, but it's got its downside as well. Sometimes there's obviously technical problems that we can't help. But there we go. It's one of those things. So I'm sorry about that. But yeah, there we go. But yeah, big shout out to that. We're going to be there on December. Was it December? No, May the 10th at that park run. I'm going to be there as well. So make sure you come along to that. And also a big shout out for the Brighton marathon sort of shakeout park run thing we're doing. 9 o'clock. It's Preston Park. Come along, even if you're not running the marathon, but you fancy a bit of tourism. Please come along. We're all going to be there, so that'll be good as well. So yeah, there's a bit of a plug on that. Thanks, Darren. Appreciate that, brother. Hopefully it wasn't too bad at the start. I say I'll do some wicked AI stuff and then hopefully it goes out and it's not crap. Right. So should we dive into these questions? I wish I'd bought a drink up again. I haven't even bought a drink up. I've got nothing. I've got no Dr. Pepper.
No Dr. Pepper.
Really?
I've got nothing. Look, I've got an empty tea coaster.
I mean,
I think because the podcast awards have been nominated now.
Yeah,
You're
doesn't
slacking
matter
off a bit, mate. You know.
yeah.
What I do is, because I talk so loud on this, what I'm hoping is that Nick hears, and it comes actually after the losing the thing. It might not.
I mean,
happen.
I very much doubt that.
Yeah, I might get it poured
or thrown at you.
thrown at me. I'm doing a Wilco. You got. Oh, you're doing Hanson. I was going to say you're doing 20 because a lot of people are doing 20 milers this weekend. I've just thought.
I'm doing 16, my last long one.
Marissa,
On Sunday.
I'm
done
injured.
yours? You're injured. What have you done?
My shin splints. I'll be fine though. Give me a week. I'll be fine.
I'll be honest with you. I don't. This is going to cause controversy.
Hey.
This really is God.
No, God.
Stand
Go on. Go on.
So I'm going to be good because the first 15 minutes of last week were a bit naughty. So I'm trying to be good. I've realised the error of my ways. I don't necessarily class, this is bad, shin splints as an injury.
Really?
I think shin
You do on my leg?
No, shh. I think shin splints, to be perfectly honest with you, is through stupidity. Because it's overuse, right? It's overuse. You're running too fast. You're doing too much distance too soon, and you basically it's an issue that you caused yourself because you're overtraining.
But I'm not. My mileage is quite even. I haven't upped my mileage much
So
at all.
you must have changed something to get them.
Yeah, she
I'm
started
thinking
running.
it's my shoes.
Bingo. Have you changed them?
Well, yeah, I bought new ones.
There you go. So again, your own fault.
So
It's
not really
stupidity.
stupidity.
It's just pure stupidity. I'm sorry, but when I get frustrated.
They're not even that old.
I get frustrated with runners who get shin splints because it really is of your own making. You're not obviously doing the strength work in your legs.
Oh no, I am.
You're not doing the recovery work in terms of your strength in your legs. So how much throw running you're doing, massage going in, all that sort of stuff. Like none. That's obviously because she's shaking her head. So it's all self-inflicted. So I've got no sympathy for anybody who's got.
Do you know what I think it is?
I've had shin splints, by the way.
I think it was my trainers, and because I've lost so much weight, where they're broken down at the sides, where I was fatter, I'm not as fat now, so I need new shoes. That's
so
what
there's a thing then. You need to put the weight back on, then shin splints go.
No, so that. No.
Yeah, but she was.
Way
And
out
then
of shin splints.
she was, and then you got her on the pod tonight. So actually now it's your fault.
Exactly. I was eating.
Technically, it's my stupidity. I reckon that would have upset about 1 million people.
That's all right.
Don't forget, we get 2 million downloads a week. So half of them are going to be like, I now hate 40 because he's called me stupid. And the other half are going to go, that guy's a genius. He's a maverick. He's like Billy the Kid.
It's no such thing as bad news, mate. No such thing as bad publicity. If everybody says,
Listen,
I can't believe this bloke said it, they'll all be queuing up to.
You can't.
There's going to be outroar that you called me stupid.
No, I don't think so. You've
I
got.
think I will. I think they'll be emailing in.
If you'd have listened to last,
Debbie.
is she still going? If you'd have listened to last week's show, I was actually even worse behaved than calling you stupid. Yeah. So I don't know. I think I've offended half the nation, but the people of Malta will always love me. This is what you got to remember. Wilco, what's everyone saying in the? Do I need to run for cover?
Yeah,
Darren's loving you.
Yeah, Darren likes you.
This is my mate, even though Hayden upsets him all the time.
Yeah, Chairman Antelope says that my solution to everything is to buy new running shoes, shin splints, new shoes. Bit hungry, new shoes. Yeah.
Oh, so it's just new shoes in any. Basically, that's the thing. Out of interest, what shoes did you buy that gave you shin splints?
Oh no, I was still in my Saucony Pro 4s.
Why was you running in Saucony Pro 4s?
Because they're my race shoes. I did it last weekend. Well, they came on last weekend.
Yeah, I was going to say shin splints are usually a process that something that occurs over a period of time of basically overuse and abuse and not doing the other correctly things to sort it out. So as soon as you start feeling that, first you should go, okay, what am I
literally
doing
just
wrong?
come on. I have been fine. I haven't had an issue at all.
Yeah, but you're not injured. It's just that it's just.
Well,
your
it
own
bloody hurts
it's
then.
just- yeah, it's just basically it hurts because of your own stupidity.
Whoa. You know I'm seeing you on Sunday.
No, I'm not there anymore.
She was cheer squadding. She's now.
I
Don't
was.
walk over me.
Yeah.
She'll be hobbling after me.
Mm.
No, look, I've been serious. Shin splints can be painful. So if you do get them through your own stupidity, if you do get them, manage it correctly. Seriously, serious point. Yeah, manage it correctly, because if you don't manage it properly,
Like not running.
it will
stretching,
get it
and
will get a lot
rolling.
worse. So please make sure you do the right things in terms of around shin splints. Okay, so just take care. Don't get into that situation in the first place, like I said, but make sure you do take care of yourself afterwards. All right,
Yes,
be
yes.
serious for 2 seconds for once. Right, it's weird being serious.
Sure.
Wilco, before you upset anybody else, let's dive into. So Marissa, you missed the first sort of bit of it because you was looking at your shins. I've got sort of a bit on marathon stuff, and I've got a bit on sort of general questions. Because again, can anyone remember the email?
40runs@gmail.com.
LongrunShow@gmail.com.
Long
Run
Show
Show.
at Gmail.
Oh, see? No, I can't.
It's one of them.
Right. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to get you to answer these. I thought this would be a good way to do it. So I've to save embarrassment for myself, I've actually taken the names out because there's no point me trying to pronounce them. And then all I end up doing is just making up names.
Yeah,
which I think Ben quite enjoys.
I do.
Because he sees me like physically struggling to say something. But I've actually taken them out because to be fair, I just can't be
The
bothered.
names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to offend anybody else after just offending everybody else with their shin splints. Right. So, what is the best strategy for pacing myself during the marathon to avoid burning out? Good question.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes.
Ask me.
Marissa.
I knew you were going to ask me.
Because you
Why
said
would you
it.
ask
You just
me?
said,
Because you said
ask
it.
me.
No, I'm saying don't ask me.
Yeah, that's why I asked you.
Well, that's
Shut
why
up.
you're here, mate. You can crack on.
You can't just sit there and go, "Oh, I've got these horrible shins, they're really hurting," and then do nothing for the rest of the show. We might as well have Hayden on.
I'm really not very good at pacing. I can't even pace myself properly around a 5K, let alone anything else. I have to get me.
Okay.
I'm
Is
new
that something you
pacing.
feel like you should work on?
I do
So
need
what
to
do other
work
people
on it.
do to help you then?
So the best pacer I run with is Sue Flynn. She's spot
Right.
on. Like I don't even know how she does it. Every single kilometer is exactly the same. Yeah, I just don't know. They're obviously more disciplined than me. I'm a bit like a child that goes out, gets excited, and yeah.
So you need a strategy. Okay.
I
interesting.
need someone to help me to keep me under control.
Okay. Right. That could be interesting at certain races. But okay, that's fair enough. And very honest of you, mate. So, props for that. Wilco, in terms of a pacing strategy that you implement to sort of stop yourself burning out, and we're talking about the marathon distance again. These are marathon questions to start with. Then we'll get more into the general stuff. Is there something you do in terms of as a strategy?
I just try and keep it simple and try and keep it level, really. I mean, the marathon's a little bit like Marissa, marathon is something that I haven't really cracked from a pacing point of view. I mean, other races I've managed to sort of like get level splits, and I'm hoping that Brighton it will work itself out, because I've been doing a lot of sort of like marathon pace runs for about 9 or 10 miles and managing to get in a sort of like a 10-second type frame. 5 seconds, 5 or 6 seconds each side. It's been going quite well. So I am hopeful. I mean, I think you just, like many of these things, I think you just got to don't try and overcomplicate anything.
Yeah.
And don't panic if it's not working.
Yeah.
I mean, the marathon, the biggest thing that puts people off their pacing, I think, is that you're going to be congested in the first mile or two. And all of a sudden, say, right, I'm going to try and run sort of like 10-minute marathon. Now, you might, if you feel you're in that sort of thing, and then you find that it's a bit congested at the start and you do 10:40, don't panic. You'll make it up and just try and get back on track on what you're doing. And then it will work itself out. So don't panic and just try and be consistent.
Okay. Ben?
Yeah, I'd agree with Wilco on that. I think the first 5K, kind of you go out and settling in and finding that kind of pace. You'll be up and down with it because you might be kind of trying to get yourself some room. You might not be able to kind of get out of the blocks. But I think that's kind of key in that first 5K is to not panic. I think again with that element of within your training, there's enough of it, and make sure you've got those kind of 10 miles and plus at your marathon pace. That will really help. Like Marissa, I really struggled in the past, and I would fly out the blocks and then would be, kind of just run out of steam completely. I think something you said to me, and it's kind of stuck with me, is set almost some checkpoints in your head. So, that first 5K to then check in with yourself. And then again, maybe at 10 miles at halfway. And, if you're going out for a set time, so, me in Berlin last year, and I was kind of like, right, okay, I need to be almost metronomic on my timing. Whereas if you're going out for a rough time, you can then kind of go, right, get to that halfway point, check in with yourself and push a little bit more. I think we said that we did that when I was in Chicago the first time, and then, push a little bit, but then get to 20 miles and check in with yourself and you can push a little bit more. But it's kind of one of those of once you've expended your energy, you kind of don't get that back. Whereas actually you can build into it. I think that is one of the key is that kind of building into it.
Interesting. Okay, that's good. So I wrote down start slower than your goal pace. So what you've just said in terms of settling into a pace. If you're doing London, for example, we mentioned it in that special podcast we've got coming up. The first 3 miles where the starts are separated, and I would say it's not hilly, but it's the most undulating part of the course. The first 3 miles, it's a little bit because you're going up some of the roads now, but it's not hilly. That's a really good point to settle into your pace because you're not into with the main crowds as well. So you can use that first 3 miles to really sort of settle down and settle the nerves. You can put strategies into play. Ben loves to negative split stuff. So that's an element. We won't go into that now, but that's something to look up. Like you just said, Ben, break the race into manageable chunks is a good strategy to avoid burning out. So you're literally doing clips, whether it's 5K clips, 6 mile, whatever way you want to do it, or to landmarks like I've done. I did, and I would go over to @40_runs. Again, if you're doing London Marathon, there's a video on there where I literally recited the London Marathon course by effectively checkpoints for you to get you through that race. I'd strongly recommend that you go and watch that. It's on my Instagram, and it went viral last year. But it's literally 60 seconds of me just reeling off the points on the course you need to look for.
And the thing about London as well is that everybody knows the landmarks on the London Marathon.
So go and watch that. Pace bands, if you don't know what that is, that's the things, pace pockets. That's a good place to thing. And I would just say the tip I gave the other day again, using your gels, right? If you're using gels or food or whatever, write down on there something. So whether it's a distance or let's say you're trying to run a time and at 4 miles, let's say you're fueling at 4 miles. Okay. So whatever you want to check what time, write the time in which you're meant to take that. So then you'll know whether you're ahead or behind. So again, that's all part of your strategy. It's another tip to use. Okay. So that's one way to avoid burnout, but you've got to have a strategy and you've got to have a backup one and a backup one for the backup one. Because when it goes tits up, and it will, you've got to be able to move right. Okay. Right. Next one. What should I eat before the marathon to fuel my body? We kind of touched that last week-ish. I think it's easy to get caught up in like bucket of pasta, 26 pizzas, and all this sort of stuff. Just quickly, Wilco, what do you have before the marathon in the breakfast sort of scenario?
I usually have too long. I usually have. I said last week, I have granola usually, like might have a banana or something else. Although I've been put onto flapjack, so I'm going to be having that sort of like a little bit before, in the sort of like the half hour before the race.
Okay, Ben, as I said, we touched on this a little bit last week, but just what's your choice of breakfast before marathon?
Yeah, so standard, I'll have porridge with yogurt and fruit, and then about an hour before it starts, I'll have a cereal bar, flapjack, something like that, and half an hour before it starts, I'll have a banana. Interestingly, obviously, New York's a bit of an interesting one, and I kind of sat in the park eating croissants, and then
Oh, look at you.
But
Did you
yeah,
have
no,
bagels?
I basically ate everything, and then that was an
Bagels
interesting
were
race.
amazing.
He then
So,
got into
yeah,
trouble, is what he's trying to say.
yeah, basically I did at 13 miles. So
Mucky. Marissa?
I do like a bagel before a race, but just plain. I can't eat.
Well, at what point do you take that?
Probably about 3 hours before.
Okay, it's fine. It's nothing. There's no wrong answers here.
Yeah.
You're all seasoned professionals.
Sometimes I
everyday
do have porridge, but not a lot of porridge.
Okay, but just doesn't agree with you, or
Nothing
No.
agrees with me. So there you
yeah,
go.
I know you do struggle. Yeah, I'm the same with you. I literally just have plain porridge. Always have done. I have it with water, so it's basically like wallpaper paste. And to be honest with you, the dog's breakfast, these little biscuit kibble things look more appetizing. But it goes down, black coffee, off we go. So that's what we do. Practice it is the key to this. This is a good question. The answer I wrote down is absolutely brilliant. No, I'd be interested if any of you answer this. How can I manage pre-race nerves and stay focused throughout the marathon? Ben.
that's a really interesting one.
It's not interesting. I just want you to answer.
In terms of, okay, so how do I manage pre-race nerves? I think.
Yeah, I know
So,
how you do it. You hang out with an absolute legend beforehand.
Yeah, it was great with Hayden in Berlin. Say what?
That drink hasn't arrived, by the way.
I know, shocking. I like to distract myself and be kind of chatting to people, and
it drives me nuts.
yeah, I know. But that's how I kind of almost
talks to everyone.
I love it. It's brilliant. But then something will click in my head, and I think so once I've kind of warmed up, that's then when I'm kind of trying to get prepped on marathon, I think. And Hayden called out, but I kind of then get into my own head, and I'm kind of trying to get into the zone a little bit. How do I stay focused during the marathon? And this is potentially a really good one that I know people do, is kind of from a playlist perspective. So I had kind of 3 playlists that I was like, right, I'm going to do an hour of listening to this playlist, Kylie Minogue, and then an hour of listening to David Guetta just in the middle, just to kind of pump me up. And then I went back to Kylie again. That's just, for me, that kind of works really well. But
she know you've done that.
I mean, she should do.
I'm sure.
I mean, I'm not stereotypical, by the way, but
yeah. Wilco, rescue us.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a chatter as well. I often find myself trying to calm down everybody else. When before a big race, yeah, don't worry about it, you'll be fine, and all that sort of thing. And then I get to about 10 minutes before, when I'm lining up, I have a gel, I put my tunes on, and then I'm trying to think about the pain.
Wearer. Are you going to be wearing them at Brighton?
Yeah, will be. Yeah, and because I've got a playlist of about 6 hours, so there's plenty on it, and I always play it on shuffle. And there's certain music reminds me of certain people and things like that, in certain situations. And then I'll perhaps, you talked about focus. Sometimes I think it's about distraction. You just sort of like you switch off a little bit, and you're just going out for a run, and going to different places. I'm looking around as well and seeing things and having a laugh and just trying to enjoy it as well.
I would say that the key distraction that I've been taught, if you're struggling with stuff, nerves and things like that, is that the distraction thing is 5 things. So, for example, if I'm in a situation where my panic, I think I've told everyone I suffer from panic disorder. So if I'm getting to a situation where I'm getting that way because the anxiety is building up and I can feel it, it's those 5 things. So whether it's like 5 things I can look at, so I'll look at that light, I'll look at that meadow, I'll look at that, and it's the old-fashioned grounding, effectively. And then there's like 5 smells. What can I smell? Is there like a taste in my mouth? That sort of thing. And I would say the same thing to you if you're in a run. Look for 5 things around you. Look up. Like there's a podcast I've done, the 20-mile podcast. That if you've not listened to it, I'd strongly recommend you download that. It's on the playlist. It's a 20-mile sort of pep talk for you all, but it does say on there to look around you. So look at the geezer next to you. What's he got on? What shoes is he wearing? Then look at the person in front of him. What's he doing? What can you see? Is there a supporter on the left that you think their sign's rather amusing? Yeah. Look at your hand. Are the hands sweaty? Anything to distract you, ground you. Great ways to deal with that in the run. Marissa, anything from your side?
I suffer really badly before a big race.
Yeah.
I'm getting better with the smaller ones now.
Yeah.
So up to sort of half, I'm not overly concerned, but anything above that, and yeah, I'm a mess. So
Right. So what do you do to deal with that?
I am getting better. I think I just realised that it's a race. It's not life or death, and
It's important to remember.
yeah, it is a good point. But I think because of Tokyo, I've always got this big issue now with big races that I'm not going to beat the cutoff. I'm obviously going to beat the cutoff now, but it's still in the back of my head.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a fair, really fair and important point. Sorry, people who worry about, and it's totally legitimate in terms of worrying about getting caught by a bus or a sweeper and all this sort of stuff. That must, that must send people. I couldn't personally be able to deal with that. I wouldn't be able to run because I wouldn't be able to cope with that. So fair play to everybody who deals with those nerves and those anxieties.
It's literally drove me crazy before.
Yeah, I bet it does, mate. It's an awful situation to be in.
Berlin, I was dreadful, absolutely dreadful. I didn't leave the bathroom for a couple of hours. I was really bad.
Yeah, no, it's a shame, but again, you've got to sort of overcome that, and it will make you stronger. Definitely will.
Yeah, I think so.
I would say in terms of also pre-race day nerves, I've spoken about the focus through the race, but I think pre-race nerves, it's a little tip for everybody. Just join 40 runs. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Chances are, no, be serious. Chances are one of you Herberts, will be bowling about somewhere, and it can make a huge difference. And I am talking huge. Don't forget, all this started from me being at Greenwich Park on my iTod, having a panic attack, right? Just before I went and started my first London Marathon. So just think about that for a second. Within 40 runs, with one big family, and I don't care if this is a plug because this is true. You don't get this anywhere else. Anywhere in the country, you're more than likely going to turn up a race and someone's going to be bowling about. And even if you don't talk to that person, just seeing somebody there, you go, oh, it's just like, oh, you know what I mean? And it just,
it's so true.
It's really true.
And it's not like, you free. Yeah. This is the thing. It's true, isn't it? It's not shit. It's genuinely true. You could go anywhere now in this country. We're so lucky. And that will immediately bring us up. If you want to talk to them, you might even see them standing in the toilet queue. I've done that. I've seen them standing in the toilet.
I've seen loads of people in toilet queues.
How many times, Ben, have I said to you, there's one of our runners over there?
Yeah.
Like, it's great. And not everybody wants to talk to everybody. And I'm the person who doesn't want to talk to anybody. But knowing that those people are there and also on course gives you a huge lift. Oh, look. It's brilliant.
Someone ran past me last week. I don't know who they were, but they went, "Come on, 40." I have no idea who the person was.
It's genuinely amazing. Like I remember Manchester last year, right? And it, seeing you guys out there, but actually there were so many people on course who listened to the pod and stuff like that. And I remember one guy shouting to me, going, "Oh, if you're overtaking me, I must be doing really well." And it was, when you're just like, it was just really nice to kind of have that chat. And have someone cheering you on mid-race. It is brilliant.
Charlie was at she was telling us, wasn't she? Charlie was at a race in Christ knows where, doing something silly, like running up a mountain or something. And she was saying that people would say, "Oh yeah, I've seen the channel, blah 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 blah," and I listen to this. Some people get, I listen to the pod. It's huge. So anyway, look, you know the deal. It's free to join. Crack on. Right. This is a good one. But again, we sort of spoke about it last week, so I'm only going to literally just briefly talk about it. How do I prevent hitting the wall in the marathon? It's usually all around fueling. Listen to last week's show. Yeah, anybody worried about hitting the wall in the marathon, listen to last week's show. And that just sorts that out, okay? So we won't do that one. Right, this is the last sort of marathon-y question. How can I recover after the marathon? So... Wilco, after you finish Brighton in 3 hours, what are you going to do? Apart from go to the pub.
Go to the pub. No, but I mean, I think you need a bit of a release. I think you do, you know, joking apart, you do. I'm looking forward to seeing my friends afterwards. That will be something that will keep me going during the later stages of the race. Won't be long. It sounds stupid, and you know what I'm like, but, you know, I might think, oh, right, 6 miles to go. I'll be in the pub in an hour and a half. Keep going. You know, it can help in that respect. And also, I think recovering a little bit later, I won't be doing much for sort of like a couple of days. I think you have to recover physically, obviously, and mentally as well. I'm in a fortunate position now that, and I was like really thinking, God, I'm doing all this training, and I'm gonna feel deflated. And then I was out on a run and got a message from one of my mates and said, "Oh, someone's dropped out of our golf holiday. Do you want to come?" And it's 3 weeks after Brighton. So it's great. It's going to be something mentally that I can concentrate on as something completely different. And that's really worked out for me as well. So think about, you know, your distractions, how you're going to, look forward to doing all the things that you haven't been able to do during your training, all the things that you've neglected. Look forward to doing them.
That's an interesting take on it. That's not the answer I was expecting. So well done. And that's good, actually. Ben, in terms of like a recovery side of things, good point, so Wilco. What do you do in terms of? I know you obviously do a lot of dog walking, put that on Strava, get your mileage up, all that sort of stuff.
100%.
100%. What else?
So for me, and you know, and I see you answer that question. Obviously, I'm doing Paris this year. 2 weeks later, I'm doing London. So for me, recovering from Paris it's kind of a bit of tapering. I'll do a few runs in between that. Once I've done from London, I think that first week out after London, I will take completely off. I'll do, you know, plenty of walking, as we said, and make sure that it is on Strava, because, you know, it's wasted otherwise. So yeah, plenty of walking from that perspective, and keeping moving. And actually, for me, I want to use this kind of block to propel myself into my autumn training. So I will then I'll kind of almost build my mileage back up. I've got races already booked in May. We've got a random event where we have to do 3 different things. So, you know, and another half marathons booked. So I think, you know, I'm slightly different probably from Wilco in that perspective, but I like having more races booked that keep me. I think when I did London the first year, as much as I had Hackney booked, I didn't run almost between London and Hackney. I think you've got to listen to your body. Everyone is different. We can all sit here and go, oh, you need to take 2-3 weeks off, and you need to, you know, when you get a cold after the marathon and you get that. Listen to your body. You know, that first week, yeah, absolutely, you need to recover. You're taking a lot out of your body. But for some people, they then, you know, want to get back out running, and that's fine. You can do that. Just be cautious with it.
Marissa?
Yeah, I'll probably have a week off after Boston. I've got Brighton, then Boston. So, yeah, I probably have a
What's
week
the gap
off.
on that?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's Brighton a long run for you?
Yeah, my long run. And I've said if I get to like 22 and I don't want to carry on, I'll just walk the rest.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm not going to.
Or walk off the course.
Yeah, whatever.
That matters, does it?
No, Boston matters.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Your goal is Boston, right?
Get him in.
Yeah.
But what about like after it, like the week after? So what are you doing?
Well, I eat lots, I drink lots,
That's good.
and I just rest. And if I want to go for a run, I will go for a run. But
Really? Okay.
yeah, it will be a short run, like a 5K or whatever. But if I want to go, I will go. But probably more walking and just taking it a bit more easy.
Yeah. I've said it a million times. About walk the marathon out of your legs. That's that's
yeah. I wouldn't sit still. That's for sure.
No, I wouldn't sit still. Yeah.
And if you're away as well, I think that's a good, you know, I think a good tip that we've done before is almost stay after the marathon rather than get there before the marathon. So that, you know, I remember the first time we did Berlin, me and Tracy walked 10 miles the next day. I'm not suggesting you walk 10 miles, but, you know,
put it on Strava. Like
I didn't then, sadly. That, you know,
imagine your mileage, Ben.
I know.
I do think marathons abroad are good for that, and half marathons, because you don't sit still. You go sightseeing and you're up and down stairs, and I do think it's good, although it hurts.
So would you go? I tell you what, Wilco, would you go into? I know it's a bit different now because people work from home, but would you go into like your office on the Monday after the marathon, or would you?
Well, I always stay over wherever I am on Sunday night.
Right. Okay.
Right. So I probably wouldn't. So I might go in on the Tuesday. I think, we laugh about it. We've laughed about it over the last couple of weeks, but I think a great recovery the day after is just taking your dog out for a nice walk.
Yes.
Just,
on Strava.
Yeah. If you wish, you can show off as much as you like with a picture of your medal round his neck.
Oh.
Yeah. I bet walk it out. Walk it out. The key is sleep. That's honestly, it's your body's recovery tool. It's its default setting to recover. Don't forget how much damage you're doing to your body by running the marathon. You're tearing muscles. You're really
selling it.
Yeah, no, but you're really giving yourself a good pasting. It doesn't matter how many times you've done it, how fit you are, and all this sort of stuff. You're giving it a real good beating. So respect, as I always say, respect the distance and
100%.
embrace the recovery. You've just done 26.2 miles, but also, which is what people don't think about, you've probably just done 16, 20 weeks of training, which, yes, you get ideally to the start line and you're just about cooked. Yeah, in terms of ready to be by the marathon. But and you don't want to be overcooked or under, you don't want to be burnt or undercooked, yeah. But you've still done 16 argument's sake weeks of training that have taken your body to extremes. You've probably had to battle, and I'm not taking the piss, shin splints, knee injuries, other sorts of stuff, tendonitis, and all these other wonderful things that throw themselves up during marathon training or half marathon training. And you've had to make sacrifices. You've probably not got enough sleep. You've probably been eating like a horse and all this sort of stuff, right? You've got to take that into account as well. So let your body heal, let your mind heal. And there's never any rush to come back into training from a marathon. Even if you've got one. Right. And Ben and I have done a great podcast, by the way. Just put that out there. That's coming out. Might be the weekend of Brighton, where we talk about what we do between doing marathons back to back. Because everybody's now doing a back to back because they're like Marissa and they're big TikTokers. And everybody's doing marathons like free every day. Let's just do a marathon because it's so easy. And it makes it look so awesome because it's going to get us content. But I tell you what, it's really hard. And to manage between the two is so difficult to get right. That's why
I'd never do it.
I know, bruv. But there's a lot of idiots out there who think it's easy, and it ain't. And it doesn't matter how experienced you are. Look at the elites. How many do they do? Right? There's a reason for it. They peak for one, maybe two. Yeah. But we've tried to give some tips because we've done it. We have done it. It's not ideal, but sometimes there's reasons behind it. Like you've got a ballot place and it's like a once in a lifetime opportunity. Great. Why not? Yeah. So we've done a podcast about that in terms of managing sort of between races and giving some ideas. That's a pod that's going to come out. It's quite a good one. We actually recorded it while we was running along. I wouldn't say the audio's the best, but it's
better
probably
than tonight.
I was going to say it's probably better than the start of this show. Be interested to see what's coming. I've got to give a shout out before we get on to the. We're running out of time as always because Wilco's just battling on about nothing. Lee Jackson's messaged me during the pod league, which is a big no-no. You're lucky that I'm not really interested in the pod tonight, and I'm looking for other things to amuse myself. Hi, Chris. Could you give us a plug for the Manchester Marathon Weekend Park Run? Lee has kindly stepped up, which I think give him massive kudos for because. Anybody who steps up to help others is, in my mind, a hero. Details are going to be launched tomorrow on the Facebook group. So if you're on the Facebook group, we're going to be putting up the details of where to meet. So if you're in Manchester or maybe you're not even doing the Manchester Marathon, but you want to do a meet up around that sort of area, we've got a lot of clubs up there. But if you don't have to be part of 40 Runs to come along, he's going to be putting the details tomorrow in the Facebook group. If I remember, which I probably won't, but if I do, I'll put that out on my socials as well because we like to invite everybody. We don't care who you run for, where you run from. So, but big shout out to that. So if you're going to be doing the Manchester Marathon, we've got one at Brighton, Preston Park. Brooks have kindly said that they're doing one in Can't remember. Probably should know. Put it out in the Facebook.
Peckham Rye.
Thank you, Peckham Rye. They're doing a park run there. So again, if you want to go that way, you're obviously invited along there. And then you got the Manchester one as well. So plenty of stuff to get along to. If you're on your own, you're going to meet other people. So good. Another reason to be part of the old and all that sort of stuff. But got to be careful because in the reviews they'll go to town and say all Ford does is plug 40 runs. Right. So moving on. Where was I? I'm absolutely dying of thirst in here.
See, Lee could have bought you a drink rather than text you.
Honestly,
shockingly,
the service in this. I'm going to get shot. Or I did have a ledge dinner. I had chicken. Does anyone like chicken pie?
Oh.
But it was chicken pie, peas and chips with gravy and brown sauce.
Oh,
brown sauce and gravy.
Yeah. Why would you not?
Well,
that's good.
It's not a criticism, mate. It's just an observation.
This is what real.
But you know what the criticism is? It's nothing to wash it down.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm literally just dying of thirst. I had a Red Bull when I come home. Don't tell that.
You're not allowed them.
No, and I am. I'll be honest with you. I am slightly worried because I did have a little bit too late for me, and I'm really having trouble sleeping at the moment. So
Really?
Really?
I wonder why.
I could it's not to do with Red Bull, but I think I may have made the problem worse by having that so late. I never usually have them after lunchtime unless I've done a race. So I could be banging trouble tonight. More than normal. Yeah, more than normal. I'll just be walking about and stuff. Right. Anyway, what was you talking about?
You were going to go next question, mate.
Thank you. Okay. As he slips into a coma. Right. We'll do this one. Maybe. I don't know. I've got like 5.
Okay.
5 questions in 12 minutes.
How can I stay motivated to keep running, especially on tough days or during bad weather? How can I stay motivated to keep running on tough days or bad weather? I understand that one. That's a tricky one because I think it doesn't matter whether you're marathon training, half marathon training, or just running in general. Sometimes it gets to a point where you plateau, you're bored of it, you're a bit sick of life, and like running's just a pain in the ass because, like Marissa, you've done too much running and now you've got shin splints, and there's all this sort of stuff. It just sort of builds up on you, and you end up going, I can't be asked. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I go through that as well. So, how do you guys stay motivated to keep going, Marissa?
Music. My answer to everything with running, just stick some really good music on or a podcast. But I have listened to a book recently that helped.
Al loves him.
Yeah,
Al's a big one of them. Coach Al, he loves a book on the old. What book was it?
something to do with running, obviously, across America. Some lady ran across America. It was really good, actually.
Fair play to her.
Yeah.
Well, and then she just spoke to you about it.
Yeah, she just talked you through her journey from one side to the other. It's quite good.
I have interest. Who you listen to in terms of the music?
Oh, I vary. I have really varied.
Kylie?
From country to pop to...
Do we have any Kylie on there?
Huh?
Do we have any Kylie on there?
I do have a couple of Kylies. Not loads of Kylie, though.
I think you need to put a bit more on there. She's a big fan of the channel. Wilco, motivation during those tougher times, shit, whatever. What are you thinking?
I'd suggest just think, well, I'll go out for 10 minutes. Just go out the door, go out for 10 minutes, and suddenly it won't be as cold. You'll get used to the wet, and you might do a bit more. But if you get to 10 minutes and you can't be asked to do anything else, then just go home and you've done something for the day. Put it down to a bad day and see how you feel tomorrow.
I tell you, on the we do group coaching, if you didn't know, and it's one of the other bits of coaching we do. All that coaching, you go over to 40rounds.com and you'll see all the information on the coaching and stuff, training plans and that. But I was on the group coaching the other night, and there was a lady who was getting, I would say, again, it was maybe a little bit unrelated, but she was struggling with the fact that she had to do a 20 miler this weekend. And I said to her, well, I tell you what, say to yourself you're going to do 16, right? But come out, leave all your stuff, leave all your hydration vest and all that gear, leave all that inside. Go out your front door, turn left, run 1 mile that way, come back home, Go in, get all your gear, get going, and then go and do 16 miles. You've done 18. And if you fancy doing another mile when you come back, do it. And then bang, straight away you're there. Total mind shift. You know, you don't have to think about the run as in going out and slogging out something like Wilco just said. I always say about it, run and go and get the paper. Or I don't know when it gets the paper anymore, do they? Show me age. But go, you know, I don't know, run away, run like if you're Ben, run to Sainsbury's to get a meal for one because he's in on his own again. You know, something like that, you know. I know how close to Sainsbury's is to your house now, Ben.
It's true.
So
they go across the roundabout. Blimey. I must have run.
Why did I show you that?
But my point is that you don't need to think about it as like this massive thing. And it can consume you. You're like, oh, shit, am I going to get out of the door? And all of a sudden that motivation drops. You start putting barriers up, remove them. And it literally can be as simple as I am going to run to there. I'm going to come back and I'm winning at life. Or go and do like a 20-minute faster session. Sometimes if you're just doing like the same runs, the same places, like, I don't know, it could be a bit boring. Just keep doing the same route every single time, you know. And I get that. People, you know, sometimes they even go to like they get put off by their clubs, and that's why they end up at us, you know. They go along to their social run and they just run the same route. And I get it, right? And you can talk, it's a small group of people, but it can get a bit monotonous, just keep doing the same route. So even if you come out and you say, I'm not going to go to club tonight, I'm going to do a 20-minute faster session. I'm going to run to the end of my road, I'll warm up, just put it out there. I'm going to run to the end of the road as fast as I can. I'm going to wait, I'm going to recover, when I can breathe again and I'm not laid on the floor. I'm going to run back to the other end as fast as I can. Do that for 20 minutes and then go home. That all of a sudden can incentivize. Oh, I quite enjoyed that. Then go back into that club, and then maybe and change it around. That's another thing to do. Right, hang on. We'll do one more because I'm getting a bit bored now.
I'm thirsty.
I honestly, I'm looking at a pair of trainers. I don't want to look at a pair of trainers like they're going to be able to give me any fluid.
More likely.
Right. Which one do I pick? Actually, we'll do this one. Because of our own stupidity, what should I look for when choosing the right pair of running shoes, Marissa?
That they look good.
AKA shin splints. Do these look good enough to give me shin splints?
No, I'm tried and tested.
Oh.
Saucony are my shoe, but
Your
I
go-to.
have. Huh?
They're your go-to, are they?
Yeah, definitely. And I think I've tried the trail ones now as well, and they all seem to be perfect for me.
Trails?
Yeah, so I've got trails, I've got the race shoes.
How much trail running do you do?
I've done a little bit. I've done Benfleet 15, so I've run 15
No, the reason
miles.
I asked, there was a geezer in the lift the other day, and it's really irritated me, other than the fact that he was in the lift, was he walked in and he bowled in with a pair of Asics trail shoes on in London.
Oh,
maybe he was lost.
I was like, that's a bit strong. No, he had like chinos on and a thing. And I was just like, that's a strong look, mate. And they were bright. They were clean. So it's not like he'd had to, I don't know, walk from the station across the moors to get, into the thing.
Did he realise they were trail shoes?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he's just thick. Maybe he's got shin splints.
I mean, he got to live with you, so
what?
He got to live with you, right? There's an
So,
issue there.
Marissa, you're basing everything on looks.
No, I don't base everything. Well, maybe a little
Such
bit.
a liar. You know you do. Wilco, talk to me about shoes. Please don't say looks.
No, I don't care what they look like. I don't care what colour they are. As long as comfort is obviously premium. But I think if you find some that you like and then you try and if I find a pair that I like, then I will. I've had sort of like 3 pairs of Saucony Pro 2s. I really like them. And I will, I'm not blowing smoke or anything. I will ask advice of people who know more about trainers than I do. So invariably, I'll come knocking on your door on a Tuesday night and say, I'm thinking of getting these. What do you reckon? And you'll say, they're brilliant. No, they're crap. Don't waste your money and stuff like that. So, I'll watch I'll watch reviews and things like that and see what will suit me, what I think will suit me. And just go for it.
Any interest in getting a gait analysis?
Me? I did the first time
Yeah.
The first time I ever sort of like
There's a song there somewhere.
the first, yeah,
Yeah.
I did have a pet. I have had a gait analysis, but I was it was in a chain of running shops, and I came out with a pair of Brooks around the time when you say 99% of people will they were very popular at the time. People were coming out of it, but they were great, and I used them quite a lot. But then I've just branched out a little bit, where I've looked at, taking things a little bit more seriously, look more like a race shoe rather than something that would just be comfortable.
Okay.
Because that's always been, I had a thing with cushioning because being a above size, average runner, I thought cushioning, I'm a big bloke. They're going to be ideal for me. And sometimes I think people can get a little bit carried away with that. And I maybe didn't need it as much as I thought I did.
Fair
but
enough.
but yeah, it's evolved. So the thing is, they're expensive decisions, though, aren't they? That's the trouble.
Yeah, you've gone more for sort of you're hunting out stuff for a need now. So, like as you say, you're training for something. So you're like, right, I need something, a bit of that, like you said, like something maybe a bit of carbon in race day shoes, and then maybe something like that. So you're more function driven than what they look like.
Yeah, definitely.
Ben.
I'll probably land in the middle, right? So I am function driven, and I do tend to stick with the set, tried and tested, because so I've got my marathon shoe, and I love that. And then I've kind of got my everyday, my kind of long run shoes and things like that. And I know that Chairman Antelope's called it out. Matching socks are a must for race day. I know that there is a brand.
I love the fact Marissa's got it. You're my hero.
There is literally, I know there is a brand of sock, that will match the shoes that I get, and I quite like the fact that they match. And I remember going in New York, and I was like, I've got these pair of Boston 12s, and they're kind of this color. And the guy was like, yeah, these are the ones that you want. I was like, oh my god, that's perfect. Like, sold. By like 3, so you've
got to look good on the day, for God's sake.
Mate, you're right,
Why would you not want to
look good, smell good, taste good?
No questions.
Look.
For all of you in Brighton, let's lick him and see if he.
No, stop.
Okay. Well,
right. Let's bring it back on point, and we'll close the show down because Marissa's taking us to another level. She can't keep a straight face now. It's brilliant. Yes, I would say the only thing I would add to that, and I must give them a shout out because they do it, and that's upper running stores, bricks and mortar. They offer a free gait analysis thing. So if you're really unsure, you're struggling with shoe choice and things like that, just go along to like an upper running store. They do it, so that's worth doing, and they got stores all around the country, I think. So yeah, that's worth going into. So that's the only thing I would add to that. But yeah, definitely get your gait checked. And yeah, it's important that they look good, but also that they actually work for you. Check that as well. Otherwise, guess what you'll end up with, Wilco?
Yeah. Oh, shin splints, I'd imagine.
Were murder, they are. Absolute murder. Right. So I think we've managed to get through tonight. Despite the complications at the start, the 30 seconds to go and that we jumped on live, obviously the terrible audio that we wasn't aware of, Marissa being late because she wasn't sure that she was on because it was badly communicated by admin. I'm going to get shot for that as well.
You are.
Hayden obviously not bothering to come on this week. He was down and he said he couldn't be bothered. So there was a lot to contend with this week, including Marissa's shin splints. So I think we've got away with it. I do think we've got away with this episode. And as I said, next week, we will be a little bit more prepared because we actually got some guests on and we're going to be talking about, well, just running in general, really. Just talking to a couple of everyday runners who run a satellite group and are genuinely changing people's lives because they turn up every week and offer a system where people can come together and improve their well-being and wellness through physical activity. And that's an amazing thing. So we're going to be talking to them next week. And like I said, if you're running a marathon, definitely look out for the London Marathon one. If you're running London, that's going to be a brilliant show. It's coming. If you're doing back-to-back marathons, wait for that preview because that's a good one. That's me and Ben chatting about that. Check out the 20 mile. Get that in your playlist now to listen to a 20 mile. That's a lot. I think like 1 million people listen, probably more. Listen to that last year. So definitely make sure you get that and save that. I think that's it. Wilco, what you running tomorrow? 16 miles, you say?
No, I'm going to do 6 tomorrow, and then 16. I'm going to get on the train and have a little trip around.
Where are you doing your 6 tomorrow?
Oh, local. I'm working.
Oh, you got. Well, no, I'm going Arlo. I've got to go Arlo. I'm going.
Right.
I'm going Arlo.
We're going Harlow next week, the Broxbourne group, because we're doing because it's the Essex leg of the 40 Parkrun Challenge. So
I'm doing it early. I'm paving the way. I'm like a pioneer as always.
You set the mark, mate, and then we'll try and follow it next week.
I'll get it, so no 40s ever allowed at that part run again. Marissa? Yeah, you imagine the abuse I'm going to get for people's shin splints. Marissa? Well, you can't. What are you going to do tomorrow instead?
I am walking parkrun tomorrow at Chalkwell.
Right.
And then
are you tail walker?
No, I'm not, because it's already been taken. Okay. But I will walk with the tail walker, yeah. And then I'm coming to cheer you lot on at Essex 20.
Oh,
and throw you a Red Bull.
I might get. Whereabouts are you going to stand?
Well, I don't know. I've never been.
I might give you my stuff.
Yeah, you can. Lowe's will be. Should I bring a table as well?
Yes.
I would.
You can all just lay it all out.
I tell you what.
But remember how much he's insulted you tonight.
No, I've not said nothing. I've just stated facts.
Stupid.
I've just stated pure facts. But yeah, bring a table.
Ben, I'll hold your drink for you.
If you get a table, no, listen, this is a brilliant idea. By the way, we've gone over an hour, so anybody just leave now, and we're just going to talk amongst ourselves. Get a table, right? And have you got a flag, a 40 runs flag?
Of course, I've got a 40 runs
flag. Stick
flag.
that on there, and like the elites have their own table.
Oh yeah, okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, but put it, if you could, right where the start is. If you could go like where the cars sort of just a little bit above there on the left. Should we go left-hand side, Ben?
Yeah.
Yeah, left-hand side, just past the start, like where all the people are. We don't want to be near them, but just let's say 200 meters up from them on the left-hand side. Lovely, jubbly. Get there early, set it up.
Get there early and set it up. So be there at 7:30.
7:30, get it set up. I'll tell ATW do if you want. And we'll have our own, because there's quite a few doing it. We'll have our own 40 runs energy station.
Okay.
Be fair.
I'll be in charge of the energy station.
It's the energy station. Maybe we should get like some energizing music.
Yeah, get a bit of Kylie on.
Get a bit of Kylie on. Right, so you could go, potentially, you could go to town here.
Bring Kylie.
Yeah, she might be
watching
live. She might be watching live. Or she might have had shin splints and turned off.
Yeah, true.
Ben's running on his own because he's got no mates. And then with me, he's on Sundays with me. So good luck with that. I think I probably won't survive. Probably someone will knock me out after the comments about shin splints tonight. And I think that's about it. Should we leave it there?
Yeah. It's been nice knowing you, mate.
Yeah.
What can you do? You can only tell the truth. Right, where's the thing? The outro. So I'm back live Monday. Before I forget, I've got to plug that. And we shall see you then. Have a good weekend, everybody. Goodbye.
See you.
Bye.